Yes, people, it's myself, Zanotti, sound of the Southwest, all the way from Trowbridge, repping London, Brighton, Southwest, everywhere, you feel me? Yo, so my music journey begins in Trowbridge, which is in a small county town in Wiltshire, and I started by spitting bars in the park, and then at school my teacher told me that I could go and study music, so I went up to Bath because there's more opportunities there, and I started my music journey there. I was born in Italy, and then when I was 5, my mum and dad split up. My dad's Italian, my mum's English, and my mum brought me back to England, and I was raised in Trowbridge, Wiltshire. Well, I've stayed in Bristol. I was there for 2 years. I moved to London for 5 years, and then Brighton. I've been there for like 2 years now. I guess it's just the opportunities, you know, coming from a small country town. There was no music opportunities. So when I went up to Bristol and London and Brighton, I can do music all the time, which has been really good for me, yeah. I taught myself how to rap when I was like 14, and then when I went to college, I studied music performance. That was in Bath, Bristol, London, and then I went to study music business at university. So the music business side, that was at Kilburn at ICMP. It was really good. They taught us how to market ourselves and market other bands. They taught us about the law side of it, so copyright and how to break down the different copyrights and sounds within that law. And yeah, it was really good. We put on our own shows and we learned how to plan making shows. We learned how to make campaigns for music artists. From the performance side, we learned how to navigate around the stage. We learned crowd work. We learned how to write songs such as concepts and ear candy and how to put songs together with the structures. One aspect that we learned, which I found really helpful, is like when performing live, like how to hold the mic and how to use the mic properly so then it doesn't come out muffled and all buzz, which was quite important for me because I was in the raves and in the clubs. So I've learned how to hold the mic and how to move on stage, which was cool. Yeah, so they taught us how to use our vocals and different tones. So I still do it a little bit when I speak, but when I was first MCing, I always stayed at one level. I was very much like do 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 do, and I got some good feedback from my teacher saying how to use different ranges. So I'm in a party, do 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 da da da, and we learned how to do all of that, which kind of makes it more interesting. And for people that I've showed my music outside of university beforehand, they said, yeah, I was very like on the same tone. And also with the volume, I used to spit at the same volume. I used to go, which is quite pounding to the audience. So now I kind of break it down. I can go really quiet and then I go really loud and then I can kind of, so I learnt about all of that stuff, which was really helpful for when I'm performing live. When I went to Bristol, Access to Music, because I was working with loads of bands, I was the only MC in the classroom. They did like cover bands. So for the first like month, just to get everyone used to performing live, we had to cover a few artists. And I chose to cover Skepta, and I did 5 Skepta tracks because Skepta was my favourite artist then. And I did all my favourite Skepta tracks. And it was really good because it helped me kind of like learn how to perform live and give me confidence. I think for that exercise, it was okay because people were still learning how to perform. Like, because at colleges, people are at different levels. Like, I could have gone on stage and performed my own songs, but some other people, maybe they didn't know how to write songs. So, and in like bands and stuff like that, they kind of like learn music through doing cover bands. So I think that exercise was okay. And I think we learned it. It was just like the first kind of step of college, which kind of got everyone over it. But I completely understand that in music it's very important to be yourself. But I think sometimes it's okay if you're learning how to do music to cover other artists and perform. But I think within the rap scene, it's not really a thing. Like, you don't really see many rappers cover other rappers' songs. But I think that's just because the course itself had a lot of bands. So it was like catering to that kind of sound, which I completely understand. From working with bands, I learnt about the instruments. I learnt about like the past bands and who people were inspired from. I found like working with a band, you can kind of like, it's like an orchestra. So performing, when I perform with bands, I can really set the tempo and the speed and the sound, and which was quite a cool thing to do. Which, like, say if you have like a backing track that just plays, it stays at the same tempo and stuff like that. But when you perform with a band, you can really go from, like I said, you can go from quiet and the band go really quiet, and then they can go back up, which kind of gives a bigger like explosion of sound. And I feel like in the future, when I'm going to perform my tracks to big crowds at festivals, I can have a live band behind me and I'll feel comfortable in doing so. Yeah, so I've performed at festivals such as NAS Festival. I did 2016, 2017, 18. That was a great atmosphere. We didn't have a live band, but we had like DJs. I think I was 16, because in NAS Festival you can go from the age of 60. I think you can go before if you go with like parents or siblings and stuff, but once it gets to 16, you can go on your own. So yeah, I went when I was 16, and I actually wasn't booked for that year. What I did is I kind of knew the MCs on stage, some of them, and I just went up there and said, yo, can I jump on? Which is quite like a bold thing to do, but I think as an MC, you want to do it. So I managed to jump on, and then the next years we managed to sort things out and I performed, which was really cool. And that's kind of like how I've been as an MC myself. So I've been like a really, most MCs are hungry, but yeah, I was very hungry. So say if I didn't get bookings, like when I went to Bristol, I was from a small country town. I didn't know the promoters or anything. So I used to go to the raves and ask some of the MCs, yo, can I jump on? And I used to just spit as much as I could. And that was the same for in London, and also the same in Brighton. So I've also done like loads of open mics. I've literally played at loads of open mic circuits. I did Bristol, I did London, and then when I got to Brighton last year, 2 years ago, I just went round and I spat out like as much as possible to get my name out there. It doesn't matter how big you are, you can still go and perform with artists and rappers and stuff like that and just be part of the scene. That's what I really like. I like the communities. So I love performing with other rappers and stuff like that, and also getting bookings, because I think it can help a lot. So I would love for me to be a well-known artist in the UK. I would also like to break over into America and also Europe. Like, I'm from Italy, so I'd like to go back there and perform in all of the cities and towns and be a well-known artist, yeah. They're already hearing me. They're already hearing me over there, which is great, and they're supporting my music. Last year, I went to go and shoot a music video in my old village where I'm from, and it was great that the community came out and supported me. And yeah, it's doing really well now. It's on like nearly 20,000 views. It's called Honey I'm Home. That was just a great experience, and I got a chance to perform in my hometown where I was born. Right, so I'm very versatile. I can spit on grime, drum and bass, hip hop, house. This is all because of my background at open mics, and I can perform with bands, I can do all of that stuff, but I stay true to myself, and I make my own original sound. I don't bounce off the updated sounds and stuff like that. I don't care. I can just spit bars, and I can make good tunes with concepts that can work all around the world, and not just spitting bars. I think there's a difference between people who can spit bars and people who can make tunes with concepts that everyone can. It doesn't have to be everyone, but a lot of people can relate to, with good hooks. That's me, I'm the guy. People can find me everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube under Zanotti_GGG. And YouTube and Spotify, just as Zanotti, and on YouTube Zanotti. Big up 0521 every time. Brr, bow, myself Zanotti. Yeah.